All right, bear with me here. I'm trying to figure this out. This is why I'm doing this, so that way I can figure this whole crap out. But what we have today is a couple different things. So obviously I have a PPE box right here. This has something in it that I didn't even know existed, but PPE just sent that to me. I also have my oil analysis that I sent out right here. We've got the Blackstone oil analysis. We'll go over this real quick. And then I also have a little comparison sheet that I made that shows some other oil analysis that I came across on the internet by asking people through Facebook and or just grabbing stuff off the internet. So it's a comparison with all these. We do have some AMSOIL in here as well as some Rotella. We've got a bunch of good stuff going. And then lastly, we're going to go ahead and touch on a big heated topic, which is the catch can right here. VSE made this for me, and you can see I've got pictures of it right there. So our next stream will actually be this unboxing of that. But that's pretty much a rundown of what we're going to do on this live stream. And the purpose of this is basically to work out the kinks of the bugs and all that good stuff. But we're also going to unveil this, so we may as well show this off. So it's just an oil filter socket right there. It's made for the oil filters, obviously. Slips right on there, super convenient. I'm happy to have that because if you've done your own oil change, you know that it's a little tough to get up there with a wrench. This is going to make it nice and handy right there. These are available right now. You can get them from PPE's website. Run VSE should be adding that to their selection of PPE products. But I thought that was kind of neat. So definitely a cool thing to have in the toolbox right there. Now, I don't think I'm getting all of my chats through at this time, but when I figure that out, we'll get that corrected. And so let's move on to a little something that I came across by someone on Facebook. It's the Superior Solutions valve right here. So I picked this up, and this is pretty much like, well, it's not like, but basically, let me pull up the PPE one here. So we have the option for the PPE thermal bypass valve right here, and this one is a direct flow through, which you can see it right there. So what this is this is just internals, and I thought this would be more along the lines of like a thermostat, but it's actually just making your current one a bypass completely. So I picked this up because I was going to do a full tutorial on how to install it, but I think it just bypasses everything. So I feel like you may as well just get the PPE one, but that's up to you on that. So I want to move on to, since we're discussing PPE right now, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but they did show airbox right here, carbon fiber airbox, that I heard about this a couple months ago, and I thought it was a super neat idea, and they posted up pictures of their very first prototype. So super cool that they have that coming out for us. It goes with the carbon fiber intake duct piece right there. So there's our duct, and then you have the carbon fiber or Carbonzilla pipe right there. Super rad on that one. So I'm stoked to see that that's coming available. Now let's talk about the oil sample. We're going to go to VSE here in just a moment, but I want to talk about the oil samples first. And let me pull that one up. So what I did was I had my high country a couple months ago. I didn't mean to do that. A couple months ago, got rid of the high country, but before I did an oil sample just to go see, because I'm running the AC Delco 0W20, and I know there's a bunch of fights online that people love to argue about oil and whatnot. So we do have a new oil coming out, Schaefer's, which I'll get to in just a moment. But you can see 7,700 miles on this oil, and these are all probably, I don't know, unfamiliar numbers to you. They're somewhat unfamiliar to me as well. So what I did was I went ahead and made a little sheet that compares all samples that I could find on the internet, as well as on Facebook. I asked for people to share theirs. And so what I have is I laid out all of my numbers right here. This is AC Delco, again, 7,700 miles on this oil. And this is where the averages should be. This came off of that paper from Blackstone themselves. So that kind of gives us a rough area to look at. Now we've got AMSOIL. I know people that run AMSOIL, they like to tell everybody that they run AMSOIL. So we have a couple samples on here, and you can see this, this one is in kilometers. I left it that way because I did not have a name for that data, and so it just helped me kind of decipher. So if it's you, then there you go. But no name 2, this is the same person, and this is their miles obviously at 13,000 and 18,000, so you can see their numbers are pretty close to the same. We've got another guy running 020 AC Delco. Now if you'll notice, the AMSOIL right here, they run lower calcium. So I'm saying that because this one right here, we don't know what Tim was running. So I just put that down as possibly AMSOIL because of that right there. So we've got another AC Delco 020. Now this is Alejandro, and he's running the 5W30 Rotella. And now I'll go ahead and say it. I cannot tell people to run anything other than 020 because that's what's recommended for your vehicle. Because I do, obviously, with what I do for everything on the internet and everything, I don't want to suggest anybody run anything outside of 020 that's Dexos D approved. AMSOIL is not Dexos D approved, as much as they want you to think that on their bottles. Now, if we take a look here, we've got AMSOIL 5W30. I don't know if that was a misprint on his paperwork or what, but they've got some good numbers on 530. Back to Alejandro with the Rotella 5W30. Actually has some really, really good numbers. I mean, if you look at the iron, that's going to tell you your engine wear right there. What's up, Mr. VC Hunter? Good to see you in here. I'm a little slow on the chat. I'm working with a couple different screens, and I'm learning this, but we'll get through this. But I have all of this data posted up on DuramaxNews.com, so you can actually look at this for yourself and decipher what you think is the better oil. Now, obviously, everybody's vehicle is different. Everybody runs them different. So this is just kind of a rough gauge. But I just wanted to point out 7,700 miles on this AC Delco 020. And I ran this hard. This truck had the max tow. I don't think I towed during this, but I did take 2 big road trips. And all of our numbers are well within specs. They're all looking good. One thing that I really like to look at is the fuel percentage, because with the way that our trucks do the regen, you're dumping fuel and the exhaust stroke shooting it out the tailpipe. So GM started doing that with the LMM back in, well, the 07.5, and they had fuel dilution problems back then. So we do not have that issue, and that's a good thing to see. Only one guy right here had a little bit in there, and I don't even think this is a concerning number, to be honest with you. All right, let's see here. Oh, well, nice, from GA. Welcome. Oh, nice. Congrats on getting that ZR2. I love my ZR2. It's so cool. I don't know if you've seen my video. What is my 2,000 mile one where I took it off-road? I'm not big into off-roading. I'm just kind of new to it. But I plan on doing a bunch of stuff with this truck, and let me tell you, that truck is so amazing. I mean, we were plowing through a bunch of, obviously nothing major, but it was pretty cool to do. What's up, Spicer? Great to see you in here. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys chiming in. Going over some oil stuff here. Now, if you're just arriving, you'll see that this is new from PPE, oil filter wrench, or socket. I think it's super cool. I can't wait to use this. I'm actually going to use this at work a ton. But we're going over all the oil. I'm basically done with this. I don't know if you guys have any questions as far as this goes. I'm not a huge oil analysis person, so I was hoping somebody could pop in and say, hey, this number is super crazy or this or that. But honestly, I don't see anything. And you know what I just realized? I'm covering part of the screen. Let me fix that for you. Again, you can get this from DuramaxNews.com, and let's minimize this right here. Super tiny. So I put it up. It's a small little blog on there. It's easily accessible, but just go ahead and go take a look at it and let me know what you're thinking as far as this goes. Whiffs of oil in the cab. All right, that's a little concerning. So I don't know, I need to post up. So when I did the most recent valve cover, I don't know if you saw it, but I was basically showing everybody how to inspect their valve cover to see if they have one that falls into that group. And when I did that, I also snapped a little bit of video in there to kind of show people what all is involved in there. And let me tell you, it's kind of tough to get that camshaft cover on in the back side there because your camshaft reluctors are back there and you can snag up on them. It just depends on how the tech did it. So I'm bringing that up because if you're getting whiffs of oil, you may actually have an oil leak coming from there because it's super easy to roll that gasket in the back. Just talking about this makes me think that I should get that video going. Let me adjust my chat here. So my preferred oil filter other than OEM for the 3.0, well, it's definitely the PPE oil filter, which you can't see because I minimized this. But this is definitely my go-to. It is pricey, and I understand that. And that's why I did a bunch of oil filter comparison videos. And what was it? The STP, I think, was my other favorite. That's the one that I went on the wild goose chase trying to find it. It was at AutoZone, I think, was the only place. But honestly, in my opinion right now, I like the AC Delco oil. I think it's pretty good. The 020, I like that Mobile One just came out with their oil. Well, it's been out, but it's more readily available. This is definitely my oil filter of choice. If you have not seen my videos, obviously this is a cutaway of a filter, and I cut every filter that I could get. I have a stack of filters in the corner, but there's actually a giant magnet on the bottom of this one. I think is super cool. So definitely the PPE one is the one to go with, is my opinion. STP would be the second, and I believe the UPF 66R AC Delco one was a pretty nice filter as well. I do not change mine at the GM oil interval, and the reason for that is because I'm seeing on the 2020 trucks, we're seeing timing chain issues with those. And me personally, when I see a metal wear item that is lubricated, then that concerns me as far as the oil quality. So you definitely want to stay on top of your oil changes with anything with a timing chain, and this is one of those trucks. You got to think it's 020, which is super thin, and I know these trucks are made for it, but they want you to go roughly 7,500 miles, and with the minor oil consumption that these engines actually go through, you're minimizing, or you're getting lower and lower on your engine oil, so it's not good to go that long, in my opinion. Oh, I don't like to hear that. Your dealer did a horrible job. The driver's side fender. That sucks. Yeah, I hate to hear that because there's a lot of technicians out there like myself that work at dealerships, and we take pride in our work, and you see stuff like this, and that hurts. Your hose clamp on the intercooler, that's just, yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. I hate to hear it. That's not all the dealerships, I'll promise you that. There's a lot of places that do stuff like that, and I hate to see that. Let me see if I missed anything through these. I appreciate that, Jonathan. Yeah, check it out. And then if there's anything that I could do a video on that would help, then definitely send me a message. A lot of people send me emails, and that's kind of the purpose of trying this live thing out, because honestly, if I answered all the emails through email, nobody else really sees it, and it's a lot of the same questions, so I'm kind of hoping that I can answer questions through here. Oh, if I do a lot of towing, my recommended interval. All right, so I don't have a set number. However, it kind of varies on how I'm towing. So I like to, it says that on the bottom. I'm talking to Steve right now with the AMSOIL meets Dexos D requirements. Per their testing, it does, but that only goes so far. I mean, I could say that my oil meets Dexos D as well, and I could just go buy Costco oil and dump it in there. That's kind of the same to me. I don't like that they say that it meets the requirements when there's no proof and they didn't pay for the Dexos D stamp of approval like Mobil did. as well as AC Delco. So yes, you are correct that they say that. And AMSOIL is a good oil. I'm not knocking it. I hate their sales style. We won't get into that because I'll go off the deep end with this. Another high quality oil that doesn't require you to sign up for anything is Schaefer's. And Run VSE, let me open this up here. VSE actually is selling the Schaefer's. Now this is super high quality oil. It does not meet Dexos D specifications per the label. However, same situation as AMSOIL, where they say it meets or exceeds. Let's see here. Poor design on the chain. So I don't know, because I'm not an engineer. Robert, I appreciate the question. I'm not an engineer. I'm just a tech that just throws parts at trucks, one would say. I'm kidding. But now the 2020 trucks had a design that was changed in 2021. I do not know when exactly that chain was swapped out for a different design. And I don't know if the new chain is actually better. However, the timing chain failures that we're seeing right now are stretching. In all honesty, it's in the $9,000 range, and it's something to be concerned about. I would suggest if you have a 2020, maybe look into a extended warranty. But anyway, I didn't say that, but I might have. So I can't say it's a poor design on the chain. It may be because of the amount of heat that we're putting through these engines. It could just be oil quality. I don't want to jump to too many conclusions. I already jumped to a bunch of conclusions on there. Hopefully that helps a little bit. What year is your truck, Robert? If you say 2020, I'm going to cringe. In all honesty, if you're new to the channel, I've had a 2020, a 21, 22 and a half, 23, and now my ZR2 is a 24. My 2020 truck actually had some electrical issues. It had some of the early on issues. But really the 20 and 21, I think, got the absolute best miles. All right, so 22, you're in luck right there, because I think that's when they really started getting things figured out, because you have the transmission is figured out there with the gear. I believe that's 22. I'd have to double check my. See you later, Spicer. Appreciate you stopping in. Talk to you later. But 22 had that was right. I forget if it's 22 or 22 and a half, where they updated the transmission where that you don't have as much issues with the front bearing. But so let's see here, 2020 build dates. I'm getting sidetracked. Let me go back to you, Robert, with your 22. So yes, I believe you have the most up-to-date timing chain. You should not have any worries. I definitely recommend changing your oil frequently. It's only going to help. I don't know why people like to run to 7,500 miles. However, when you look at my sheet, I ran mine to 7,700, and that was merely because I was trading my truck in. I know, please forgive me for that one. But here's my actual Blackstone paper. Let me move this over so you can see it better. But you can read what they had to say on there. So 7,700 miles, it was looking really good on everything on there. Any word about the coolant flow control valve revision? Which one are you talking? Oh, the actual coolant flow valve. Sorry, I've got transmission flow valve on my brain. So I don't know anything. And next time I talk to somebody on the GM side, I'm going to try to see if I can get any information on what changes they're doing, if any. Right now, obviously, they're just on back order, and they're just so hard to get. And it's so unfortunate to see that so many people having those issues with those coolant valves, and they're seriously stuck for months. It's just crazy. Recommended oil. All right, so this is a tough one. Okay, because I'm gonna straight up say just use AC Delco 020 from the dealer. Buy it from Amazon. I have the link for it. I found the best deals, or my dealership in general. You could buy a package of 3 oil changes, and it's dirt cheap. I think my dealership is like $210 for 3 of them. And like at my dealer, we're using the AC Delco 020. You're using the correct stuff. So I would suggest you go check with your dealer. Then you have paperwork that follows it. and it meets the Dexos D. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, a lot of people like the AMSOIL, as well as now, like I said, Schaefer's just came out. You can get this from Run VSE. This is pricey oil. The Schaefer's, it's a high quality oil. AMSOIL is also said to be a high quality oil, but you don't need to sign up for anything to get Schaefer's. You just order it. Now, the Mobil 1, someone just posted on Facebook that there's actually Mobil 1 available at Walmart. So you could pick that up. That's Dexos D certified. That's what I recommend. Just stick with that. It comes down to your opinion. Yeah, 7,700. I get it, Mark. I totally understand, but these are expensive trucks. And honestly, I priced out these timing chains for a couple people, and they're in the $9,000 range. You can only do yourself favors by doing early maintenance. I know it may seem like you're kind of throwing money away, but if you want your truck to last a long time, I feel like regular early maintenance is really the way to go. But Steven says, I want to double check, as the approval comment worried me in the manual for my Sierra. Yeah, so you need to run oil. That's basically what your owner's manual is going to tell you, that the AC Delco is probably going to be your best bet. Like I said, the Mobil that's out now, that's like $30 for a 4-quart jug at Walmart. Again, clothing optional when you go to Walmart, so there's a bonus there. So good news, AMSOIL used not going to void warranty. It's not going to void the warranty. That's well, I'm not going to say that out loud because I don't make the call. If if you have an engine failure and GM wanted to be really, really picky, like let's say an engineer came down and saw something with your truck and said, you know what, I want to see some oil sample or some oil change receipts here, you're going to need to provide those receipts. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but it could, because I've seen it with extended warranties. But so anyway, if they called you on that, you're going to have to show. And then, I mean, you're giving them a loophole right there by not running oil that has that Dexos D certification. Now, again, the possibility of that is probably 0.001. Totally get it. Run what you want, whatever makes you happy. Just do it. Do it early. Do it often. All right, AC Delco from Rock Auto. I've heard that there's some amazing deals to be had over there. Gas engine getting particulate. Oh man, we won't even get into that. Isn't that crazy? That's the world we live in. But you know, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see that. That is hilarious. Mr. Harriman, yes, you are correct. Not a misprint. So you've been using the Dexos 5. Okay. Well, there you go. I'm going to pull that back up because now that we're discussing that again, let me see here. I got it right here. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Bear with me. I'm new. All right, so Brian Harriman is right here with the 5W30. So these are good numbers in comparison to where they need to be. So like my AC Delco 020, 4242, we're running the same copper. You're a little higher in copper, but these are all tiny moly. It's got some good numbers. There's nothing to be worried about there. I have to tell everyone, run 020. That's what your engine was designed for. But obviously these guys running this 530 are getting away with this and showing zero issues. So make up your own mind on what to do. I'm not going to tell you to do that because the bearing clearances are tight. All right, you like that Schaefer's oil, huh? It's made less than 2 hours from your house. That's pretty cool. Well, the good thing is with the online ordering is VSE has it, so maybe give them a call. But that could get that to you. So Steven says, my point is only the manual is my air cover. It says it just had to meet Dexos D. Not that it has to be certified. Yeah, I hear you. So it says it on the bottle. I think you have a valid argument right there. Definitely has it on there. So, I mean, I could see how you have a leg to stand on that one. So, let's go over, we discussed this carbon fiber, but people that just popped in, carbon fiber airbox lid from PPE. That's pretty sweet. I do want one of those because I don't know if you saw my most recent video, but it was about the S&B intake. And I put that on, and all it does is just add noise for me. My fuel mileage, I thought, was going to go down, but it didn't. My most recent test, I think I got 22-ish. But anyway, I like the stock airbox better because you can retain the mass airflow sensor reading correct numbers. But we'll continue on and see just how this S&B is going. Now, what I want to do is pull up my catch can because I got some pictures from VSE today, and they should be shipping soon. I'm super excited to see this on the truck. I think it's going to be pretty rad. Let me grab this other picture. But they did some fine work here. Now the black is optional, and obviously all of this is just custom. They did this for me to show, and I think that's super cool. I've got it in the design process right here where they started doing stuff. Obviously, I got all this from their Instagram account, and they post stuff up in their stories and whatnot. But super cool to see. I'm pumped because the next live video I do is actually going to be when I unbox this catch can here. But before we exit, what I want to do is show a little something right here, because I don't know if you guys saw the catch can when they first unveiled it, but there was a hose that looped up, and what you couldn't see was the valve on there. So now they're giving you a chance to see that it's all made in America. I'm excited to see this. Obviously, I did show a video where I went into PPE and they showed me their prototype setup of their catch can. It's super awesome that we have two possible catch cans at this point in time. For those of you wondering, I did ask VSE about shipping of these because I don't recall the exact shipping date. I feel like it was April 5th-ish. Was when the estimated ship date was. But I heard that some have shipped out. Mine should be shipping out pretty soon. It's all completed as far as I know. I did talk to Tom earlier today. Would you consider that catch can voiding warranty? So this is a very tough question because honestly you have to ask your dealer. And it depends on who you talk to at your dealership. If you talk to just a service advisor, they may or may not give you straight info. If you talk to a service manager, they're probably going to tell you, any modification could void your warranty. And the whole main word right there is could. So anything you do to these trucks, you absolutely could void your warranty. Now, will this catch can void your warranty? So that depends. Did the catch can cause your failure is what it's going to come down to. Now you have the Magnuson Moss. I don't even know if I said that correctly, but the Magnuson Moss Act, where you are able to modify your vehicle, and that's a slippery slope right there. So let's say you take this into the dealership because you have a blown up engine and you have a catch can on there. That catch can deals with the oiling system, so they have a leg to stand on to say, well, maybe that catch can did. So let's just say that they don't want to cover your repair because you have that modification. They have the option to do so. Now, if you disagree with it, then you're going to need to get a lawyer and contest it with GM. So honestly, when people ask me, will this void your warranty? I try to tell them, if it's a big concern for you, you should probably leave your vehicle alone. Now, that being said, I really like this catch can because the way that the system is designed is you're actually getting oil vapor into your turbocharger, and that turbocharger is actually pulling that oil vapor through. So this catch can is actually going to catch that oil vapor in there and hopefully separate the oil from the vapor. And instead of burning oil and sending it through your exhaust system, you're going to be catching it within here where you can drain it. Anyone have a dealer tell them that Banks iDash can void the warranty? Brought my truck in a dealer today for check engine light, and the service associate suggested I remove the iDash if I want to keep my warranty. Okay, so this is my opinion, 100% my opinion. They did you a favor by telling you to remove that. Honestly, if you modified your vehicle, there's always a chance that you're going to have warranty implications. And while the Banks iDash is just a gauge, it's just reading data, it could potentially cause something. So it's reading through the OBD2 port. So you're tapping into the system. So technically, there is something that could happen. Is it likely? No, there's nothing. But your service advisor did you a solid by telling you just to pull that stuff off. I'm not telling people to modify their trucks and pull all the stuff off before they go into the dealer. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But just know what you're doing pretty much. And that's why a lot of these modifications, think about if you're towing and something blows up and you've got some parts on there. And so my head goes straight to like the stealth box, which amplifies your fuel pressure, amplifies how much boost you're running. If you're running up a hill and you blow something up and you have that towed to the dealer and you have that box left on there, you've got some major, major issues. That's all I'm saying. We're going to leave it at that. So Steven says, just bought an extended warranty through GM, went through one of the dealers to give big discounts. That is a solid way to go. I like that. Now, when it comes to extended warranties, I don't think GM themselves actually sell a GM warranty. I think that's a thing of the past. So like with my dealership, we have a very high quality extended warranty. I'm not going to say the name on here because they're not associated with the channel, and I don't want to go down that road. But anyway, all extended warranties are not created the same. They're actually, you really need to read the details. There's a lot of extended warranties that will not cover gaskets or bolts or fluids, and it has to be a lubricated item that failed in order to have coverage. There's a lot of loopholes. So I want to do a whole segment on extended warranties, to be honest with you. But I'm glad that you bought an extended warranty, because I think that's just helpful in the long run. There's a lift kit upsize tire surcharge, they said I'd get if I ever plan on putting a lift on my truck. So yes, that is good that they offered that, because what's going to happen is if you have a repair that needs to be done, and this is to Steven, I appreciate the comment. So if, let's say you need a engine replacement, they're going to come in with an inspector most likely. That inspector is going to go through your truck exterior. They're going to take pictures of your suspension, your tire wear, and make sure that you've done everything properly. Now, with getting that upsized tire surcharge, you're protecting yourself, because what they'll do is if you put on 35s on this truck and you drove around on it, let's say you've got 85,000 miles and your warranty is 90,000 miles, they're going to see that you upsize those tires. They're going to run the calculations and see what potentially your miles would be. And they could, again, it's just another loophole for them. So you did yourself a solid by adding in that little surcharge there. I know it sucks to have a surcharge, but that was a good move. How often are you working on 2020s with a timing chain stretch problem? Okay, not very often. However, whenever I've had them come in, it was always a 2020. I think in total I've seen 4. And that's through my dealership. Now, I'm also part of a GM dealership technicians Facebook group. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people out there doing a lot more stuff than I am. And so your only other issue was the def injector. Oh, that's good. You're doing great. That's minimal issues. It's good to hear that minimal issues on there. Warranty states the lifter tires have to be installed at time of purchase by dealer or authorized tech. So I have... That's a tough one. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know why they would sell it to you if you don't have it, but you plan on having it later. Not sure on that one. Admitted the only thing not covered for the lift or any suspension related that they think the lift may have caused. Absolutely. So basically, if you break a control arm, the upper control arm, they're not going to cover that for stuff like that. Transmission replaced because of a lift. So technically, when you add a lift, you're adding larger wheels and tires, extra weight. There's extra strain on the transmission. There's extra strain on the engine. I know we're all on the same page on this, but again, it's just a loophole for these guys to get out of. The GM one is backed by GM, but you're right, it's managed by some other company. Yeah, that's typically how it is, which that's not a bad thing. Just check over your info as far as coverage goes. Difference in my, okay, so yes and no. I've done so many changes to the truck. It seems to sway 1 mile per gallon above or below. Now with the current PPE Zilla pipe on there with the S&B intake box, I was actually like 3/10, within 3/10, and it was more in my favor hand calculated. So it varies. Honestly, I think it comes down to how much idle time you have. And when it's cold, I fire up the truck in the morning so it's nice and warm. So I think that could play into it. I think you've got the correct setup, game player. Honestly, that's what I prefer, and that's why I want to go with the PPE carbon box shown here. That's going to be my setup, I think, but the S&B didn't let me down. I did not expect it to actually, and I can't say it improved my fuel mileage, but it didn't go down. And I really thought it was going to go down because my prior testing, it doesn't feel any more powerful than with the stock airbox. There's really no gain, in my opinion, except for noise. So that's why I try to tell everybody, just get the intake for noise. But honestly, with the stock airbox, like the PPE one here, I'm assuming that the diameter of this pipe, the inner diameter, is the same as stock. So it's going to read correctly. But the good thing with the stock airbox too is that you're getting all the airflow from the front, and you're getting I don't know what filter they're using in here, but there's a lot of good options for the filters. All right, I think we ran down all the good stuff that I wanted to show. Obviously, one big thing was this oil filter wrench from PP. I think that was super cool that they came out with that. Release date on all this stuff, I don't know. I would say a couple months for the carbon, but actually I don't want to say a couple months because I think they told me, but I would look for it around SEMA time, which is in November. And do you let your truck warm up and go right away? So yes and no. So typically if I'm leaving work, I'm going to fire my truck up and I'm going to blast out and I'm heading home. If it's really cold in the morning and I don't want to be cold, then I'll fire it up with the remote start and let it idle probably 5-10 minutes. But sitting and idling, I don't think you need to do that. I'm a fire up and go kind of guy. You kind of want to get the oil pressure going and everything, but if it's warm outside, I wouldn't have anything to worry about because it's 0.20 oil in there. That stuff's thin. It gets to where it needs to go. And the way the system is designed with the coolant flow valve, they actually block off coolant to many different areas of the engine, so it actually warms up very quick. And I don't see any problem with anybody firing up and heading out. All right, so again, if you want to see more on the oil analysis, right here, I do have this on DuramaxNews.com, this whole sheet right here. I wanted to say thank you to the guys that sent over or posted up all their stuff, because it's really helpful for other people to be able to see, because everybody's going to go online and ask, what's the best oil? Let me cover this up or uncover this. It's a common question of what do you want to run? And honestly, the AC Delco 020, in my opinion, is just fine. So just wanted to throw that out there. But this shows you, I mean, all the oils are performing really well. The only issue here is this no-name guy, and he's got 112 iron. That had to have been an issue because that's starting to look like engine failure. But I feel like it's abnormal. I feel like we would have seen other numbers up there. So I think we just had an issue there. But I appreciate everybody stopping in, checking this out. And we'll do this again whenever I have the VSE catch can in my possession. Thanks for stopping in.